Effective communication in the workplace is key in establishing a long and healthy relationship between you and a coworker, maybe even a boss. Not only does communication feel good, but it also brings about deeper understandings between coworkers and show results of success in the long run. Having a hold over the skill is one of the best ways to ensure that everyone in your team understands and knows what is expected of them, in a way taking responsibility for themselves. While building trust and creating an enjoyable workspace, practical communication skills are also one of the tenets that keeps your team moving forward in the direction of a better company. Hey everyone, I'm Mert Damlapinar, and this video is about improving your communication skills at work. Don't let the fear of losing be greater than the excitement of winning. Before we get started, make sure you subscribe to this channel or follow me. I will be uploading more of these videos with all the tips and tricks as a part of the Analytics of Life series. Communication is a secret ingredient to a successful, good-performing team. Components of a good-performing team include authentic interpersonal relationships, consistent idea generation, and the ability to overcome challenges and face difficult conversations. Even if you're not working on your own communication as a team, big or small, this is a skill that you will inherently have to fall back on in any given situation. So it's always good to have your grounds covered. As a personal skill, excellent communication holds higher stakes. Ever wanted to significantly impact your job satisfaction, promotion potential, and your career success? Well, all you have to do is work on your communication skills. Increase your ability to achieve success and get yourself the promotions you deserve. How? You may ask. Here, listen to me very carefully. It's crucial to note that every employee is different and not everyone will respond positively, at least initially. Since no two employees and therefore no two teams are the same, it's imperative to dive deep into understanding your own team's communication dynamic. This is as special as any snowflake you may come across. Whatever its issues may be, it is worth the fight. Now that we have that out of the way, here are 12 quick and easy ways to improve communications at work. Do unto those what you would have done to yourself, right? Getting your point across to a group of people is tough and takes time, more so if you're easily nervous or anxious. Instead of focusing on what you want to hear, focus on what your coworker is trying to say. Same goes for when you're speaking. Instead of focusing on what you want to say to get your point across, you should put more thought into what the other person should hear. Now, on the opposite spectrum of this is listening to what your teammate has not said. As a leader, take it upon yourself to dig to the truth, creating a safe space for communication in your workplace. This only benefits you and your company, as well as the employee with a new boost of self-confidence. Instead of relying on the end-of-the-year reviews to communicate with your people, a regularly scheduled one-on-one is just so much more convenient, as well as makes it easier for you to function. Remain up to date on where your employees are at, how they are feeling, and what they need from you to excel. You have to communicate too. It's a two-way street. Maintaining a clear and constant flow of communication and good energy for your team should be one of your foremost priorities. Whether they wish to speak about their feelings or share ideas and initiatives, nothing is taboo. In fact, the expression should be encouraged. There is no better way to do that than by creating a communication-friendly environment. You can do this by setting an example. This means you are the cornerstone for perfection. Always be about open and transparent communication, even if it's something as negligible to you as greeting them good morning or saying thank you. In fact, make it a point to greet them. Get the conversation flowing in the moment the day begins. Along with this, you also should encourage social interactions. Prompt and inspire your employees to interact with one another, making it so that they speak to one another even when it comes to non-work related conversations. This sense of comfort that you're fostering goes a long way. I said this once, now I'm repeating it. If you expect honest and open communication, you're going to have to mimic it yourself and set it up as an example. Communication is something that should never be top down. Regardless of the means of your connection, always ensure that you encourage your employees to share their thoughts, feedback, and points of contention. If your whole deal is that you claim to have an open door policy, you need to keep it as open as you possibly can. A less dramatic way of doing this is merely by reminding your employees that you're there for them to talk to and to counsel. However, how do they come to you? The answer is simple. During a review, ask them to communicate their feedback on your performance as a manager. If you're addressing a larger group of people over a different medium, make sure to encourage everyone to communicate their thoughts to avoid negative emotions. You get the drift, right? When work gets busy, it's always easy to forego a check-in or two. Bad move. Check-ins are one of the best ways to maintain effective communication. Also, who would want to interact with a boss that doesn't seem to care? In addition to maintaining and expecting realistic expectations, your employee also comes to rely on you as a beacon of support and consistency. If you have made them aware of their relevance and their duties, it is only fair to be regular with what is expected of you concerning them. One of the most frustrating things as an employee is to finish a project only to find out that your manager was looking for something completely different. This can be avoided by being transparent and open with your questions right from the beginning. Other than knowing when to bring up certain things and when just to shut up, you should discuss with your team which modes of communication work best for them and for which solutions. Big decisions should probably be made face-to-face, a style of conversation I encourage. Lunches can be arranged over whatever your preferred instant messenger is. Speaking of IMs and emails, keep in mind that they're great, but only to a point. Often, going back and forth on a computer gets complicated, so don't be afraid to get offline and speak to one another. Face-to-face conversational skills are imperative in simplifying tasks and preventing miscommunication like perceived sarcasm or reluctance. In the case of excitable or easily unnerved employees, and there may be a lot of those, you can't help how humans are built. You will often run up to chances of generating unnecessary anxiety to them. This stems from your lack of creating a safe space in the first place. However, if you've already done what I've mentioned above and things are still icy, you can use motivation as a tool. For work to be more meaningful, we need to feel like we're part of a bigger picture. In the same vein, explain to a shy employee how the work they are doing helps the project, the manager, and the company in the long run. Although you won't always be able to make tasks more meaningful, it also helps to admit that sometimes some things just need to be done to move on to better things. This kind of honesty is inspiring and shows your employees that being empathetic is always a plus. Only a fool would underestimate the power of positive feedback. A common misconception is that positive feedback encourages laziness and overconfidence. Well, not really. Often we're quick to point out a person's mistakes while forgetting to see any of the acknowledgments due to their way. Giving positive feedback can be a powerful tool in your hands, especially in giving employee motivation. With great power comes great ability to give credit where it's due. A compliment sandwich is when you open with a positive, lead to a negative, and end with a positive observation. While nifty and useful, might not always be efficient. Sure, you always will want to point out the positives, but sometimes the world doesn't give you that. There are times when a compliment sandwich or a positive compliment isn't appropriate or effective. However, ultimately calling out an employee is nothing but a deterrent anyway, so you should ideally go for a constructive critique instead. This relies heavily on facts as opposed to attitudes, which can easily be fixed with the right kind of guidance. I'll see you in the next video. Take care.
Subscribe to Analytics of Life and don't forget to press the bell icon. Never miss another update or a new video.